fun movies. I don't want steak. There's a lot at stake right now.
Yeah.
I just want to be entertained, which is why I can't watch Gladiator.
Yeah. You should go watch I Saw the Devil. It's a very entertaining Korean film that would murder you. Don't watch it. It's
my God.
I adore it, but it's a face punch. And how happy were you to see Robert Baratheon and then see K2SO from Rogue One? Is that the name? The android from Rogue One, Alan Tudyk, and then see the Joker on screen. I mean, this cast went on to and even Shannyn Sossamon went on to a lot of work. So
and Vision.
Yeah, Vision Paul Bettany went on to some good stuff. I mean, great stuff.
Oh my God, dude. The man in High Castle, Rufus Sewell's role there. And I told you I would mention this. I told you last night I would mention this. He does a lip quiver in The Man in High Castle that will bring everybody down. It's such a micro movement. And I was like, holy crap, dude. Like, he's displaying this disapproval for somebody, and he's got that steelish, rakish face going on. And it's just like a piece of his lip just goes bloop, and you're like, holy
Schlackle.
Wow. Dude, yes.
Hey, so real quick for you. So David Cross started doing this with me on our episodes. We've been doing all the Universal horror movies, the new ones, and we've had a blast doing it. But he'll ask me, what are your 5 favorite moments in that film? What are your 5 favorite moments in A Knight's Tale? I'm putting you on the spot.
No, please put me on the. I can come up with 5 in a relatively short amount of time.
If you want,
my first favorite moment.
Yeah.
Was definitely Chaucer coming through.
Yeah.
Like, he's just coming through, and he's like, Heath Ledger's just like, excuse me, sir, or whatever he says, and Paul Bettany just turns around like, what's up? And that I love the trudging part of that whole scene was just great. Or even during that same scene when he's like, now I believe that, when like William pulls the knife on it, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, this is pretty.
You're gonna destroy somebody in fiction.
Right?
I love that line.
The second probably favorite moment I have in that movie is the wide shot in the church. It's as the colors, the space, again, it provides breath to what has been sort of a claustrophobic fight scene. Although there is a very bad CGI moment with like Jocelyn's face in the holy water, and it kills me because she dips her fingers into it, but the image doesn't change. And I'm like, oh my God, this reminds me of like Sega Saturn water effects. I can't do this. After that, I would have to say it's definitely when Alan Tudyk punches Paul Bettany in the face during the dance sequence. And the thing that I love most about it is not that he does it, because he's been wanting to do it the whole time. He's been telling him about the pain that he's going to bring the whole time. I love how fluidly he gets punched, short fade to black, comes back, but then he twirls back into view with the thing in his nose, and that's man, the selection of that whole the movement, the filming of it, the fact that they were just waiting to bring that whole like nose clogger for the bloody nose, that's just beautifully filmed. It's funny as heck. It brings a lot of joy to me. I always get a kick out of that. I would say after that, probably my 4th favorite is the very last scene with the way the measured and you've been found wanting when Adamar's
looking all down at him.
See, now that's the payoff though. That scene is the whole payoff. You're like, haha, we got you, but it's not like you got your burn in. That's what you want. You burned him. Woo!
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love that. Like, it makes me so satisfied that it wasn't like, we permanently paralyzed you and now you're not a count anymore and ha ha ha. It's like,
yeah, the guy lost.
We got our, yeah,
that's it. He took second place.
And you basically like, you burned him. You're like, haha, I got my dig in.
Wow, that's how the movie ends, with just a burn. The guy doesn't get killed. He cheats and they just burn him. Wow.
Yeah. That's it. And then I guess my last favorite, and there's so many favorites, but if it's my top 5 list, I would say it's probably the first scene with the prince when he is like, listen, I just want to back out with some honor. And Heath Ledger's face to me is so understanding of that, even though he's not nobility, he's just a peasant. And he's like, yeah, okay, I understand something about honor. I get that. Here I am faking being nobility, but I have honor. And there's an exchange in their eyes there, and then, they run through it, they raise their lances, it's a draw. But there's a really, really cool connection there, and it's one of my favorite Heath moments. So those are my top 5.
All right. 5 for me is the bent helmet on his face. They can't take it off. It's a good gag, and it makes sense, right? I can't show my face because my helmet is smashed in.
I love that he knocks on it.
Yeah, and you believe it. You just, okay. Number 4 is when Kate catches the broken lance. It's that tiny character moment, and she just snags it out. And the director said that he asked her if she could do it, and she got annoyed at him. For the rest of the day, she caught it every time and just glared at him angrily, which makes me really happy. The next time, my number 3 is there's a cheeky scene where we first meet Shannyn Sossamon, and he follows her into a church. And the priest in there just starts saying, if you were, stop, but you're just too pretty. You just can't. You need to be less pretty. And then she just says, yes, you're absolutely right. I will work on becoming less attractive. It's just a funny bit, right? And I think it sets her up as having a sense of humor, having her own agency. It's you play with the whole pretty thing. I just think it's funny. Why did God curse me with this face? It's funny, and it builds on that. I dig that. So I have 1, 2, and 3. Now I got to think of 2 and 1. And for me, what it always comes down to, and even when we talked about in Dick Tracy, it's the little moments. So remember in Hot Fuzz with the Andys, you got a mustache. Yeah, I know. That's the little bits, the little bits that make me really happy. And this movie has a lot of them. So let's see. I guess, all right, I don't know why, but I always find pure joy when the helmet gets knocked in the air and the crowd catches it like a baseball. It's perfect, right?
It's great.
It sets it up like a modern sports spectacle. People are catching the helmets. It just makes me happy. You took a couple of the ones I love, so I'm not going to cover those. But I'm gonna try to find my number 1. Oh, of course. Oh, so my favorite. Okay, and I saved this actually when he gets hurt, and he goes, "Was she watching?" Oh, I pulled the text. I have it up here. Let me find it. Yeah. Very good. Was she watching? What? Did she see me? Yes, she saw you. Did she see me take the hit? Yes, she saw you take the hit. Well, was she concerned? It was dreadful. Her eyes welled up. It was awful. That's fun writing. It's cute writing. It's two people who like each other. They're not being mean to each other. Remember that scene where Alan Tudyk kisses William Thatcher?
Oh my God.
And he's so happy.
Yeah.
And he's so happy. It really goes against type. He gets it.
Oh my God. Does it not make you miss him so much though? Oh man.
And I think one of the things about this movie is just everybody was talking about him on this film, how cool he was. And he actually won me over in the behind the scenes footage of this where, I've worked on a lot of movies, man, and I've done it too. I've been on like a $200 million budget movie, and I've just been complaining. I'll just be like, oh, and then I think about it later on. I'm like, Mark, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. People were sleeping in their cars to get this job, and you're working on it every day, complaining. But in this one, they were complaining about how heavy their outfits were. They're like, it's like you're in a refrigerator. But then Heath Ledger goes, it's fine. We're actors. We complain. I'm getting paid. This is great. Oh no! My favorite scene is when Kate makes that light armor. Kate makes the light armor.
And hits him.
And all the knights are laughing at him.
Yeah.
And then he jumps up on the horse easily, and all the knights go, oh. And then he just walks away smiling. It's a beautiful small moment. Oh, what a beautiful moment. But yeah, it's just, this is a movie that but yeah, Heath won me over just because he admitted it's fine. We're just complaining. We're actors. We're wimps. So I really like that about him. He got it and he understood it. And his performance though, and I'm telling you, 10 things I like about you. The guy just had star power. He had star charisma.
Well, I will admit that the only time an actor has died that I cried about, and there's only a couple of musicians I did, but he's the only one I've ever cried about. I loved him. Yeah. He had such a good soul, and he cared about acting. He was kind to the people that worked with him. He dedicated himself to the role, and he just came across, in those moments, like you said, when Alan Tudyk kisses him, and then he's just got this shocked look, and he almost breaks the fourth wall. Doesn't quite look at the camera, but you see the surprise exuberance. He said in the behind the scenes, he was from Western Perth. Like, this is his changing the stars story. This is what drew him to this role, you know? And I always felt like his whole career, every role that he did, he always had that feeling. I think he really spent every day, every minute that he was acting, loving it.
Yeah.
And that comes across in this movie so well, and I think that gives it. He was just an everyman actor, you know, not dissimilar to someone like Alan Rickman, you know, who was like, 47 years old, now I'm an actor, you know. It's like, who doesn't love to see somebody passionately pursuing their dream?
Yeah.
And just, but still, like you said, not disconnecting. There's no point in this movie that even Aldrich disconnects from his people. He's the one thing about the flowers, like we said with Jocelyn, but he is still very much connected to his roots. He's just, and yeah, so that also weighs very heavily in the fact that this is like my favorite movie of all time. He's just taken too young. I love that man.
What I like about him is he exploded off the screen in '99. Then he went into The Patriot. Fellow countryman, I guess, Mel Gibson on that. But then he did Monsters Ball with Billy Bob. That was a dangerous movie if you watch it.
Holy crap, dude, that scene in the chair.
And then I think he kind of went the traditional stretch that a lot of people do to actors, where he starred in Four Feathers, Ned Kelly, The Orders. They tried to put him in a box like they did with Colin Farrell. Now Colin Farrell's doing The Killing of a Sacred Deer and The Lobster. You try to put these actors into a box. But then he broke out of that in Lords of Dogtown. I loved his performance in that. Then he moved on to Brokeback Mountain. Then, I loved him in I'm Not There. Then Dark Knight. I think he was really trying to. He had moved past the put him in a box phase, and he was branching out. I thought The Four Feathers was an unfair. I think that was the first indication that he was going to take a role that was dramatically different, you know, like that role for him, he's labeled a coward, you know. Granted, it was the Crimean War, so maybe ducking out of that guy was not a bad idea. But, you know, like you said, here he is, he's in these trajectory of lovable roles, and then he's like, different. I'm gonna be the coward, and then it took a weird. Lords of Dogtown though, that was a crazy one. Yeah, no, I just dig it. I think that he wanted to evolve as an actor, and I don't know. I think his exuberance in this role really makes it, and I know that Brian Helgeland had not directed much, and I think maybe that's why this movie has a lot of meat on its bones, because he also wrote it, but. Yeah, I think it's a credit to him for hiring the right actors and then just letting them kind of breathe on screen. And they did. I don't know. I think that maybe for some people, the Achilles heel of this movie, if it's too long, it's a little shapeless, is also what drives people to it. So, I don't know. He trusted his actors. He let them fly. I don't know. Can you think of a core crew that you like more in a film?
Serenity.
Yeah?
Oh, not that I like more, but if I could think of a core film.
You're not supposed to come up with something so fast, James. You should have given it 4 seconds and then said it. No, I'm joking.
Nathan Fillion and Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. Okay, but
No, you're right. I'm joking.
No, but
you
really,
will never think of a movie that's better. Bloodsport. Oh, crap. No, but
Club Dread.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you talking about?
So, what are some movies where you have a crew like this, and you like all of them? I love Kate, Chaucer, Watt, this entire crew. I like.
Oh man, there was. You probably know better. They've remade this movie. Okay, so it's it's not called Sahara. That's the other one. Although anything with Steve Zahn, that's
That Thing You Do. They're likable.
Yeah, okay, but that's not my crew. I'm not rolling with that crew. But there was a movie where they're holding down this outpost in North Africa. They've remade it a couple times, but there's a bunch of different characters in it, like the Australian guy with the cool bent Aussie cap, and I think the other Belushi. James?
Jim?
Yeah, Jim Belushi, I think, was in the remake of it, but they're holding down this fort, and everybody's a different character. And that was like the first ensemble movie that I ever saw. And I was like, wow, there's a rough and tumble Aussie guy over here. There's like the calculating guy over, like, I'm a sucker for ensemble casts, but no, I mean, but this isn't really, like, it wasn't built for that. It wasn't built that way. The director specifically chose people that he thought would be comfortable with each other. In fact, Mark Addy, Alan Tudyk, and Heath Ledger, for the first 3 weeks they knew each other. Their rehearsals consisted of us going out and eating together and like hanging out. But Brian, and I can't pronounce his last name.
Helgeland?
Yeah. He thought